The scene begins with a skeleton, presumably once John Constantine, ascending a ridge to gaze into a valley filled with sorrow. As he climbs, his body withered and weakened, his arm snaps and breaks off. He begins an expletive-filled rolling descent down a hill, his fall spurred by the view of an adult film in production below him, near the iconic Hollywood sign. We are then introduced to the opening page, penned by Simon Spurrier, which serves as a recap. Through it, we hear from John about his recent tumultuous experiences. He details an absurd amount of upheavals in his life, describing a recent crisis in London where lives were lost, souls damned, and malevolent forces vanquished. John maintains his innocence, and when the time came to flee, he found himself with two unlucky companions, embroiled in a narrative not their own and accused of murder, among other accusations. First, we meet Nat, a highly educated Scot with a penchant for anger, as John describes. Despite her protective instincts, she'd never tolerate being labeled his bodyguard. Then there's Noah, a silent young man from the housing projects who committed a murder on John's instruction. John admits he'd feel remorseful, especially since Noah might actually be his biological son. John reveals that their recent troubles also involved encounters with spectral entities and ghostly possessions, among other far-fetched troubles. He thought he had been resurrected after a stint of being deceased, but he admits he's not entirely certain it took. Where can three cursed souls, seemingly doomed, vanish? What place is vast enough, foolish enough, superficial enough, and spectral enough for them to hide? Where does magic meet its end? He poses the question, where do you think? America. This issue starts a few weeks in the past. We find John at the Fountain of Youth attraction in Florida, conversing with a statue of a conquistador that's under demonic influence, attempting to liberate Noah's doomed soul. John, accompanied by his friends Nat and Noah, is fleeing from accusations of murder in England. He is seeking insights from the possessed statue, who is keen on negotiating. The demonic host informs Constantine that his notoriety precedes him, and reminds him that his current spectral existence stems from a past pact with infernal beings. However, their discussion is abruptly interrupted by a demon-possessed Girl Scout who strides past Nat and confronts John. She says, "You're a long way from home, John Constantine." She attempts to sell him cookies, which he declines. The girl, much to the annoyance of the possessed statue, outlines what John's deal would entail. She conveys that John is anxious to know if London police are pursuing Noah for murder, whether Noah's soul is eternally condemned for the deeds John coerced him into, whether Noah is indeed his son, and whether John bears ultimate responsibility for all the ensuing fallout. Her answer to all of John's inquiries is yes. She also informs the possessed statue that once John has gleaned all necessary information from him, and when it seems time to negotiate his eternal destiny, John would trigger the Solomonic seal hidden beneath the statue's seat and escape unscathed. Afterwards, she seems to either extinguish or absorb the evil spirit within the statue. She and her cohort, seemingly demons or mystical entities ingrained in American folklore, express their desire for John to consider them his hosts while he is in the States. Before departing, she sarcastically greets John with, "Welcome to America, dead man." Feeling disturbed by the encounter, John exits to find Nat and Noah by a commandeered British double-decker bus, prepared for an American road trip. It's revealed that it has been 17 days since John's heart last showed any signs of life. He is evidently in dire need of assistance. John is aware that bringing his close allies, Nat and Noah, along on this journey places them all at great risk, and he is determined to resolve the issues they face. He cautions Noah against picking up any hitchhikers during their journey, emphasizing the importance of avoiding such actions entirely. That evening, as they traverse the southern US, John starts to doze off, and a spectral hand is seen hitchhiking. The ghostly figure boards the bus and moves towards John. When John discovers Noah has disregarded his warning and picked up a hitchhiker, he confronts Noah about it. Noah explains that he felt demeaned by John's patronizing tone, prompting his defiance. Their exchange is interrupted by the ghostly passenger who hauntingly greets John. John struggles to remember the spirit speaking to him, but feels a vague familiarity. The apparition is revealed to be the Dream of the Endless, who has unresolved issues with Mr. Constantine linked to past transgressions during the Sandman era. Years earlier, John had acquired a leather pouch filled with sand, aware of its potent contents, yet he confesses that he was never able to open its drawstrings. Dream clarifies that he holds no grudge against John concerning the pouch, containing the articles of the Endless, as it was originally taken from him by someone named Burgess. However, Dream has some unresolved matters that need his attention. It turns out that John's former girlfriend, Rachel, ran off with it, leading to Dream's previous incarnation ending her existence with what he describes as uncharacteristic kindness. John concedes that although it took some effort, he eventually managed to unlock and utilize the contents of the pouch in a crucial event that saved the world. Dream informs John that he wasn't the only one to exploit the pouch. A vile entity has infiltrated America, exploiting the power of the pouch, and Dream expects John to rectify this situation. Dream tells John that those in possession of his articles have concealed their deeds and true natures and have begun to encroach on his dominion over the American subconscious. John perceives that Dream might have been outsmarted by a foe currently in possession of the pouch. Dream emphasizes that John is compelled to assist him due to a combination of John's dire circumstances that continue to plague him: Noah's condition, his own failing body, and the weight of his past wrongdoings. Dream advises John to seek out the Oracle, who will provide guidance where Dream himself cannot. Later, we see Nat have an encounter with a racist cop, which spurns John to wake up from his sleep and cast a spell on the cop before they hit the road again. While back on the bus, John attempts to reassure Nat and Noah that their return home is near. But first, they need to connect with a contact in the bayou who can help them stay hidden while they aid Dream in reclaiming his pouch. Upon arriving at the Artful Greens Golf Club, John recounts his misfortunes, the blood on his boy's hand and the mold on his arm, and vocalizes his desperation for assistance, questioning where his aid is. In a moment of despair, he shouts, "Alec Holland! John Constantine needs help!" Feeling forsaken, he hears a voice from below reply, "These names, John Constantine, Alec Holland, I do not know them." That voice is presumed to be Swamp Thing.